Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're here in the T4 hybrid passive or hybrid shield tank Gila, which I used to farm T4 firestorms. And I was thinking what we could do with this, since we have previously been ganked when doing Abyssal and ISA. We're going to try to bait some gankers out in this ship here. So I'm going to alter the fits ever so slightly so that I can have it configured to be as anti-gank as possible. Just because something is anti-gank, or I say like it's quote-unquote gank-proof, does not obviously mean that it is like 100% gank-proof. What I mean is, when it's anti-gank or quote-unquote gank-proof, I would say that it is more likely to survive a gank compared to your average ship. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to alter the fit slightly so that it's less focused on doing the Abyss site as good as possible and more focused on surviving ganks as good as possible. So what have we got here then? For you guys who've not seen my T4 hybrid Gila before, it is a ship that utilizes passive shield tanks. So we see here we've got medium coil defense field extenders, plus we've got a medium shield booster, and we're able to be cap stable because we've got a large cap battery as well as a small energy Nosferatu. Okay, so before, the style of ship I went with was to use triple drone damage amplifiers in the lows. It gives me maximum damage, very effective in taking out the abyssal entities. In fact, it's better than having a damage control here, but I opted in for damage control because this enables us to have a very big amount of buffer. We see here, if we turn this off, we have 68k EHP. With it on, we have 80k EHP, so we get quite a bit more buffer. And then I'm also using some high-grade Nirvana implants. These are going to provide very big shield boosting capabilities, or not shield boosting capabilities, but boost my total capacity of my shield. So we've got 20k EHP shields. And you might be wondering, why wouldn't I then just go with a full passive shield fit to Gila to sort of quote-unquote bait in the gankers? The reason is because, say we go for a large shield extender, we can perhaps remove this Republic Fleet large shield extender. We can't fit this properly, but maybe we can if we remove this. You see here, then we have 160k EHP, and we could even remove this thermal armor, and then we can get 186k EHP. This is definitely something that I might test later. The reason I'm opting in first for going this hybrid style is because I just generally speaking like it, but also because when you go with this style of fit with pure passive, then this HP per second is 111. It's not the same at all percentages of your shields. When you've got a high amount of shields, then you've hardly got any HP per second. When you've got 50%, it's a little bit more HP per second, and then when you've got like 25%, then it's the max HP per second of regen, so it's about 111 there. But what I mean by this is that a large proportion of the time we go around in the Abyss, we're going to not have full shields, because it's very difficult with a pure passive shield fit ship to be able to regen back up to full shields. It's just the way it works, because regenning up to full shields is difficult with passive fit alone, because the regen is just so low at high shield percentage values. So that's why with hybrid fit, when the passive see here, if we've got the passive shield, this is going to be very low when we come to high percentage of shields, but then we've got the shield booster, which can take us up to 100% shields. So what I mean by this is that we are going to like with a greater ease be at max percentage shields when we exit the Abyss site to be as quote-unquote gank proof as possible. But the downside is that we have obviously a smaller buffer of shields, and considering how much bigger of a buffer or shield we got when we went full passive fit, I might opt in to switch to full passive fit, but we will try that later. Now first I have to get some filaments. So we got a raging firestorm in here with some previous loot. We'll go with the abyssal loot. Remove everything about from this. Just need to check my drones. I've got any drones in here? I've not lost any drones. I've got full drone by 100 cubic meters. Okay. We will go and repair everything in case there are drones that are damaged. No, there are no drones that are damaged. Okay, so we'll go to the system of Van Kalen, because this is a system which I got previously ganked. So I'm guessing this is where there's a bigger likelihood of getting ganked. And if we don't get ganked, well, we're going to earn some dank-isk, because of these firestorm filaments, they are very cheap, so the profit margin is very high here. Now, why have I got this plex here? I'm not sure why I have this plex here. I don't usually like to keep plex in my plex vault. That's a good tip. If you are collecting plex try not to keep it in your Plex vault, because the thing is, say someone puts a scam contract for you, or like someone tries to scam you, they put like a contract which seems reasonable, then somewhere in the fine print or somewhere they put that you have to give them Plex, then it'll automatically pull from your Plex vault. But if it's not in your Plex vault, if it's somewhere deep, somewhere in some station or something, then it's not going to take it. So I try to keep my Plex not in my Plex vault, and that's a good tip for anyone who's collecting Plex. Just don't keep it in your Plex vault. So I'm not sure why I've got this here. It might be the EVE Online Partner Program, but they don't usually give in portions of 500 Plex. Okay, so we're soon there, 2 jumps away. This system is very great because it's very close to Jita. Easily able to go here and farm Abyss sites. It is a 0.6 system though, so it is a high risk of getting destroyed, because there's a greater length of time until we have the Concord responding to the gank. So the name of the game is to simply have as much buffer or as much tank as possible so that you can survive the initial ganking of these NPCs. Not NPCs, of these NPC players, because they feel sometimes like NPCs when they're out there as an escalation to the Abyss site. Okay, there we go, Van Callen here. So I think a Multispectrum might be good for shielding myself against gankers, because it will also cover the EM resist profile, and that is something that I've noticed a lot of these gank fleets are composed of. They often are coercers. Not all the time, there sometimes are catalysts and thrashers as well, but I think that it's good to have Multispectrum because you overall get a lot of buffer. But it could be good if we knew exactly what type of gank ship, then maybe it would be good to go for a specific resist profile like this, thermal shield hardener over here. And the reason I use this now is because we're going to be doing T4 Firestorm Abyss, and that is where we have a lot of danger in terms of the thermal resist. Okay, so we'll go to Abyssal launch site, and we'll go to the location which I previously got destroyed at. The ship I previously lost was a Munin, I believe. The Munin got pretty thrashed. It was a pretty small buffer, I think like 14k ESP buffer, so it stood no chance. I didn't really expect a gank because I was thinking that since alpha clones were not allowed to gank, then perhaps there's going to be less gankers, plus the more likelihood of being discouraged to gank because of the reduction in security status allows you to disallows you to dock in certain stations. Okay, so we'll go and jump into the Abyss Raging Firestorm, baiting the gankers in the Raging Firestorm. Let's go. Okay, what do we find here? For some reason, I always find the good filaments in these T4 Firestorms. Even though they're T4, the same as the T4 Electrics I do in a T0 to T6 Abyss series, a series I'm doing where... oh, it sounds pretty loud. It's a series where I'm leveling up or sort of like grinding away at a character from completely nothing to get it to be able to do T6 Abyss smoothly. And I mean, it's going alright, but it's getting a bit tedious because the loot drops have been really bad, and for some reason, always in the T4 Firestorm, it feels like the loot drops are so much better. Okay, buy adaptive cache over there. We've got entanglers and dissipators. Still want to take out the entanglers. It's not nice to be entangled in place. We are really powerful with this ship. This ship really does not care. It just goes straight through the T4 Firestorm Abyss. Especially with Nirvana implants. When you've not got Nirvana implants, this ship is still able to do Tier 4 Firestorm Abyss. It's not as easy though. You have to be very wary. You have to be very aware of the waves and know when to use your shield booster or not, and preserve a lot of capacitor because you can run out of capacitor if you use your shield booster too much. But it's definitely possible in the T4 Firestorm without Nirvana implants, because I've earned this ship back with using the ship without implants. I've just used some basic boosters occasionally, but no implants. Okay, that Hammerhead is getting some punishment, so we're going to have to recall them and deploy the next group. That's what's nice about having multiple groups of drones, is that you can sort of just easily deploy them and sort them with that, instead of having them all grouped together like that. We can split up these drones here, get one there, get one there, maybe not there. Can we put some missiles here and land one volley on the bio adaptive? And we'll put one here. Good, and open this up. 4 million, okay, it wasn't that much, so not the amazing drops which I felt like I would have getting the T4 Firestorm. It's just an overall feeling from the T4 Firestorm. Feels so much better than the T4 Electrics, but it could also just be me imagining it because the T4 Electric is so much more expensive, so I just generally speaking feel like, oh, I'm wasting so much using the filament, when in actuality it's probably just the same. My guess is it's actually the same, but it doesn't feel that way. Okay, engage target. Getting the reload going on. We can even Nosferatu some of these perhaps. What is the range of this Nosferatu? 9 kilometers, so probably this escort. But the thing is, you have to have very low capacity to be able to Nosferatu someone, especially when it's a small ship. I'm not sure how it works, but I think that when you've got a lower capacitor in terms of gigajoules than the ship you're going to drain, then you're able to drain it. That's my guess, because I noticed that ships, like battleships, it's easier to drain them. If it's in small ships, it's hard, and I can only do it if I've got a very, very low capacitor. So you can see here when we're using it on this escort is 0 gigajoules. We keep it range 500 meters. 500 meters. We can use these missiles here. On the small stuff, I think it's a good idea to use on the small stuff because they apply pretty good to the small stuff, even though they're ranged. They're light missiles. And this goes a bit slower than the classical T4 hybrid Gila because we're using only 2 damage modules over damage control, but we are, on the other hand, very, very tanky. Extremely tanky with our damage control and high overall resists, because we've got a good thermal profile as well, which is useful here where it's being reduced. Let's go use some of these missiles. A Warden. Take out that Warden. Good. Okay. These waves do also take quite a bit of time because you just got a lot of NPCs overall. I mean, 4 minutes is still not bad. It's a pretty good time actually. And we've just got really good application and damage. Those two combined enable us to do these pretty quickly. Return those. Good. Next wave. There weren't so many people in the system before, so I don't think that there's going to be a gank, but you never know, because sometimes I just see a completely empty system and suddenly surprise gank from nowhere. Okay, we'll go to the Triglav Empire adaptive cache here. I've got starving all over the place. Could be good to go for the Vedmak first, because it's going to be hard to completely destroy them with all the remote reps going on if we don't take out these Vedmaks first. They have medium remote armor repairs. Some big ones. We remove a lot of their logistics capabilities when taking out the Vedmaks. Okay, I'll continue here. And we're getting pretty hard neutered because of how many neuters we've got on grid. There we go. I'll actually go for the starving dynamics just because we've got so much neuters on the grid. I'll go for this bioadaptive cache. Can we use the Nosferatu on the Vedmak? No, he has to be within 15 kilometers as well. Launch a bioadaptive cache here. Easy. Oh, look at that. Our capacitor is soon going to 0. This is what I mean. With this fit, you have to be slightly careful when it comes to your capacitor. You've only got one cat battery. And even with the Nosferatu, we've got only 7 gigajoules to spare. So the capacitor is not too stable. It could be better. But it's hard when you've got mid slots allocated to passive modules, resist modules, and shield boosting modules. You don't have much to spare for boosting your capacitor, so I sort of had to make the compromise by putting one large cat battery on this fit. Now these ghosts are not helping because they're making it so my missiles are applying pretty badly to them. Take out this ghost. There's also a Vedmak, actually probably good to go for the Vedmak, to be honest. Can we use this Nosferatu on him? Nah, our capacitor was lower before and we're still not able to use it on the Dynamic, so there's no way we're going to be able to do it now. We possibly could on the Vedmak, because their Vedmaks are quite a bit bigger. See if we can do it if it comes in range. The thing is, it's a little bit too far away. Are we able to... They go pretty slowly on this guy. Vedmak seems to be going pretty fast. They are pretty fast, those ships. They have got MWDs, I believe, 1.3 kilometers a second. And we can use missiles here. There we go, destroyed. And we do quite a bit of damage to these Triglavians because they naturally have very low thermal resist, and it's even further being amplified by the weather effect. The only thing is that they are also naturally armor-based ships, and their armor is further being buffed by the Firestorm site, but I think it nets out a little bit faster than usual completion time in Triglavian waves. Let's take out that coaster. Great. Reload this here. I go to the next one. Yeah, let's go. Cinnabal wave. We'll probably want to save a bit of capacitor here because they do nuke quite a bit. They are, however, not very many Cinnabals, so we really don't have to care at all, actually. They also tend to be quite easy, these Cinnabal waves and Gilas. I think the resist profile is quite good. They do EM damage, which is not so good for us, but they do also do explosive damage, which we have a really high explosive profile. Now we can use our shield booster probably. Can we use our Nosferatu and get anything? We'll see here. We've got cruiser versus cruiser. Oh, we've got 6 gigajoules. That's nice. Okay, we've got something. We're able to get some transfer of capacity here. Oh, 0. I think it's because our capacitor is getting pretty high now. Oh, look how quickly those normal Cinnabals go down compared to that elite one we had before. It took quite a bit of time. I have to recall that drone, but it's hard because they've got so many webs here. Okay, deploy this other group. Go for this one. And boost away in the Gila. Time to see if we get ganked. The completion time is very good. It's always good in the Gila. So fast. And it would have been even faster if we went with the full damage fit. I think that, in my opinion, one of the best sites to do in the Gila is the T4 Firestorm. It's pretty like low requirement on the ship. Get good low cost of filament. Able to use passive fits to increase survivability against gankers. Overall, I like it a lot. It's a good balance between stress and reward. We don't need to think too much about the capacitor now since they're almost all destroyed. I don't know why drones are not able to hit that Ixion over there. I think it could be that they're getting caught up in the tachyon cloud. Could be what's going on. Let's go to this buy adaptive cache. Launch a volley there. Oh, okay, so we didn't get any amazing drops. Just the way it is. Go to the origin conduit. Okay, we've got that Echo as well, who's keeping us in place. They have web and scram. They really like to keep you still, those guys, the Echoes. Ooh, now our drones are taking a bit of armor damage. They do have quite a bit of armor. Or not really that much. They have quite a bit of structure since they're hammerheads. Galentians, they like having big structures, those guys. See if we can hit, because the tachyon cloud encapsulates the gate, so we'll not be able to really get out of it unless we move away from the gate. Yeah, our drones are still able to hit them, surprisingly. I was not thinking they would be able to hit them with the tachyon cloud against frigates. Oh, they're able to hit them really good. Maybe they allowed the drones to get on top of the frigates quicker, so that's why we can... They were able to just dispatch them so quickly, because that felt quicker than usual. Okay. And we'll see what we have here. So this is what I mean by the hybrid fit, that you're able to boost your shields to max, because now, at this point, 95%, we've got basically no passive regen. It's minimal. It's only the shield booster helping us. It's around here, the 25% mark, the passive recharge is at most, like near that 111 mark. Okay, so we've recalled everything. We've got max shields. Let's go. Ganky gank, ganky gank. Oh, there's no more people in the system. But there is no one to gank. Oh. But we are going to probably one day find some gankers. And I would actually want to just test how a full passive fit feels, because I don't think I've tried a full passive fit that is relatively cheap in the T4 Firestorm Abyss, so we might try that next time. So that's enough for now. Baiting the gankers. T4 Firestorm. The bait didn't catch anything. One day, hopefully, it will. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.